going on, everybody? It's your boy Rogue Hero here. So, Master Rule 6 have not been announced yet. Jump Fiesta is currently going on, or I think it happened already. There's been a lot of talk about it in the Yugioh space, which is why I'm doing this video now. And I wanted to give my take on some potential game mechanics I think Master Rule 6 can bring us, because while Konami over in Japan, they talk about some Yu-Gi-Oh products that are coming out. Some of those being the ever so popular, like new like sculptures they're gonna do, like like the collectible toys and figurines that people like to collect. But there's no talk about Master Rule 6. And typically around this time, every 3 to 4 years, we get a new Master Rule anyway. So they got a lot of YouTubers thinking we might not have a Master Rule at all. And that's very interesting when you think about it, because if we don't have a Master Rule, that means we're pretty much stuck with link summoning, pendulum summoning, in the way the game is currently formatted for the time being, which I'm personally not complaining. I think adding another Master Rule would be kind of ridiculous. However, with that being said, if we do add another Master Rule, these are a few I think should be added. So the first potential mechanic that we can potentially get is the ever so wanted deck master mechanic from the anime. Now, if you guys are not familiar with the deck master mechanic, in the anime, I believe it was season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! My memory is kind of gone because that's super old. They had a season where they had deck masters, and it was essentially their best monster from their deck put to like its own little separate deck that you always had on you at the time, at time, and you always had access to. So I guess in modern terms, it'd be like if you had a Tearlament stream as your deck master, you can just use it whenever you want. This was a cool concept in the anime because it essentially allowed people who would have played decks like the level monsters that came out in 2004 to play those competitively in the current meta of that time. Because if you have, like, let's say for example a level monster, for example, as your deck master, you don't have to run it in your main deck. You can just run the deck master as a one of, and then run the other accessories that are not bricks, but that one may be a brick. And there's tons of different options you can have. Even in my deck like Heroes, we could tech things like some of the Neo stuff as a deck master and bring it to the field when we want to, versus having to have it in the deck and make it be a brick card. So I think the deck master concept is really interesting, to say the least. It'll definitely change things up on how we're played. Obviously, there will be a power creep point where whatever deck master will be the best of the best. But for the most part, I think most people would be really cool with just having a one-of monster outside from your deck as a side deck to pretty much have access to at any time, but you can only use it once per duel or once per game, or however Konami want to make it out. If deck masters was a thing, would you guys try it out? Let me know in the comment section down below. Now, another system that people are talking about we may or may not get, which would be pretty cool if we do get, is a Mulligan System. This is something that's really popular idea, and it's something that's currently being used in a lot of card games like Pokemon, Magic the Gathering. The Naruto CCG had a Mulligan system as well. And with Mulligan systems, it essentially allows people to run decks like Crystal Bees, Heroes, without the potential of bricking. Because what Mulligan is, you essentially shuffle your hand back into your deck and draw a new hand. In other card games, the way the Mulligan system is set up, you shuffle your hand back into your deck and draw one less card. I don't personally think this will be good for Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, we start off with 5 cards. Would you really want to risk shuffling your hand back into your deck to draw 4 to potentially draw a better hand? I don't think so, especially if your deck is already bricky. I think a good Yu-Gi-Oh! Version would be either pay 2,000 life points or pay half of your life points to shuffle your deck, power shuffle it, and then get a fresh hand. And you can do that as many times as you want, because think about it, if you keep paying half, you're eventually going to be down to like 500 life points until you draw that best hand. But this could be kind of bad if you think about it, because if we had unlimited accesses to do a Mulligan system for Yu-Gi-Oh!, especially one where you do it to life points, you would probably have to implement it to, you can only Mulligan once by paying half your life points. But ultimately, if this was a thing where you can just do it as many times as you want, players would just play FTK, gimmicky FTKs, and keep paying half or paying 2,000 until they get the perfect hand to do their crazy setup. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I think Mulligans would be good for Yu-Gi-Oh! It will allow Konami to kind of like scale back on the power creep and give decks that are more prone to breaking a higher chance of competing in the metagame. I don't know. What you guys think about that? Let me know in the comment section down below. Would you guys play Mulligan? Would you guys try Mulligan? I want to hear from you guys. Another concept I think will be pretty cool as well is, let's see, 2 cards as 1. So in Magic the Gathering, I think Pokemon has this as well. There are certain cards where it's literally 2 cards in 1. So for example, it'll be, or Yu-Gi-Oh will be like, let's say a Bestial monster, you have 1 Bestial monster, or you play this another card. Another interesting example of that would be how some pendulums are. Pendulums are technically speaking 2 cards, but they're stuck to being pendulums. So in this concept, you can have a card that says this card can be treated as a spell card or a monster. If it's treated as a spell card, draw 2, for example, right? So this would be an interesting concept and introduce a new card type into the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG that won't specifically change the way the game is played. Because I think one of the biggest issues with the way a lot of these master rules are spit out, there's only so many times you can summon a monster. We got Link summoning, we got Synchro summoning, we got XYZ summoning, which is just stacking cards on the top of cards. And the list can go on, right? So we have tons of ways to summon cards. I think introducing new card types in general is better master rule than actually just doing an actual rule change itself. Or you could even have 2 cards where it's like the card is also treated as a trap and a spell. That'd be interesting because it's not a quick play spell, but it's also a trap. So I don't know. I think that'd be better, honestly, too. Like we get a new, and just think about the archetypes you can get, like kind of like how Paleozoics are, where they're also treated as monster and traps, but you'll actually have these cards be half trap where you can set them, or you can just normal summon them as a monster and do what you need to do. I think that'll open up the doors for creativity and tons of new archetypes for Konami. Konami, if you guys use this idea, shout your boy out, or at least give me that sponsor, Konami sponsorship, so that way I can spread the love and show it to my audience. But on some seriousness though, y'all, I think dual cards would be a good, interesting strategy. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section down below. And honestly, at the end of the day, that's pretty much it as far as my personal ideas on what we should have as far as the next master rule. I really don't know how much more farther we can go. Like, I really don't want to see another summoning mechanic. I think Link summoning was a good idea. I mean, it gave us new cards for the extra deck. But I'm kind of tired of having new extra deck type of master rules. I think we personally need to scale back on the extra deck stuff and capitalize on other type of themes and archetypes. Like, we should be able to make a spell deck that's all spells, but can also be treated as monsters, and that way you can compete. Because Yu-Gi-Oh, in my opinion, was always a game based on creativity, and there's nothing more creative than using a deck that's all spells that may be treated as monsters. So I don't know, man. Tell me what you guys think about this video. Comment section down below. Like the video if you're new here. If you guys want to subscribe for more, subscribe for more. It's your boy Rogue Hero, and I'm signing out. Peace. See you guys in the next video.